So you can sit forward on your chair or seat so that your feet are flat and your back is upright. And rest your hands and arms where they're comfortable for you. And we'll take a few moments with eyes closed before we begin. You can start to slow down your breath. And this can be a time to set aside any mental projects, whatever you've been thinking about, planning, problem solving. Giving yourself permission to just be here, feeling where you are. And if your mind does wander onto that kind of activity, just as soon as you notice, let it go. It could be right in the middle of a thought, letting it drop and then coming back to feeling where your body is, feeling this breath and how it moves through your body. And one of the things we can look for in our bodies is any unnecessary tension, resistance, effort. Using each exhale as an opportunity to let that go. Just whatever you're able to release here now. You can let your eyes open, keeping a soft focus. Feel free to open and close your eyes as it's useful for you throughout your practice. So let's start with some neck stretches. We'll turn the head as far as we can one direction, looking over your shoulder, keeping chest square to the front, but rotating as far as you can. And then go back the other way, as far as you can. See if there's a little bit more right at the end. Go back the first direction. And then back the other way. And back to neutral. And let's drop one ear over to one shoulder. Try not to lift your shoulder to meet your ear, but keep both shoulders drop. And through the opposite side, maybe reach through your fingers. You really increase the stretch on one side of your neck. Rotate your chin to your chest. And come over to the other side. Both shoulders drop, and now even more through the other shoulder. Rotate your chin to your chest. Come back to the first side. And then go back and forth. Next time your chin is to your chest, stay there. Interlace your fingers behind your head and let the weight of your arms hang. Resting the weight of your arms on the back of your head to stretch the back of your neck, top of the shoulders, upper back. And then release the arms. Head floats back up. And let's interlace fingers in front, and we'll put some pressure between the arms like we're going to pull them apart. And the more pressure you have there, the more you might feel stretch between your shoulder blades, spreading the upper back. You can also think about spreading your rib cage each inhale, spreading the lungs, the ribs. And then release. Let's bring our arms out to the side and flex the palms so fingers point up towards the ceiling. Try and find where your rib cage is in line, your spine is nice and tall, and the base of the hands are pushing out strongly, fingers pulling back strongly. You might even engage your core to support your back nice and long. And then curl from fingertips down and in, stretching the forearms, but still reaching out. And then try circling your wrists, big circles, as big as you can make. A few times one direction, a few times the other direction, feeling all those little muscles in the forearms flexing and stretching. And then release, shake that out. Let's take the right arm up and over for a side bend. The left hand can support you however it makes sense. Try and keep both sit bones grounded so you're not tipping off the right hip. And then circle your right arm back behind you as far back as you can. We'll take a few really big circles, exploring your full range of motion. And when we do this, when we explore our full range of motion, inevitably we're going to meet places that are tight, weak, awkward, uncomfortable in a variety of ways. So rather than being disappointed that that's what you're feeling, celebrate. Oh, good. Found what I was looking for. Let's come back to neutral. Same thing, other side. Left arm up and over, big side bend. Reaching out, but staying grounded through both sit bones. And then reach your arm back behind you as far back as you can. And your range of motion is going to be different than my range of motion. We all have different bodies, and that's okay. So just exploring the range you have. Doesn't need to look a particular way. Shouldn't be more than it is, but don't skip over the hard parts. Finish up the circle you're on. Come back up. Let's take the right arm up now. We'll bend it straight back. Grab your elbow and take it back. As you do this, notice if your rib cage is jutting out. If so, try and drop the ribs, engage the abdominals a little. So you feel your sit bones and you're sitting tall, nice long spine. Release, right arm up, open it out, take it across, hook with the other arm, and then hug it as close in as you can. As you do, draw back through your shoulders so you're still square across the chest. Release arm out, rotate your thumb to point down, wrap it around behind your back. So back of your hand is at your waist, interlace fingers at your waist, pull the knuckles around towards the front just as much as you can. Doesn't need to be any more than you can. Elbows go towards one another. Again, it's a direction, not a destination. And then circle your right shoulder. Even if it's just trying to circle and it's really, really tight. Keeping fingers interlaced, reach both arms back. Open up the chest, take it as high as you can, rolling the shoulders back. And you can stay upright or fold. And folding may be just dropping your head, or it could be coming all the way over your lap. Maybe reaching arms up and back away from your back. Release, come up. And let's take a big shoulder circle up and back and down. Left arm comes up this time. Bend it straight back on itself. Grab your elbow and take it back. In each pose, keep coming back to slow, deep breaths and being curious. What are you feeling? What are you noticing here? And release, arm up, open it out, take it across, hook with the other arm and hug it in close as you can. So looking for the sensation that is your edge. It's a particular feeling. If you go beyond your edge, that's where injury might occur, but we want to find what's right up to it. Release, arm out, rotate your thumb to point down, wrap it around behind your back. This time when you go to interlace your fingers, try the other thumb on top, the non-dominant way. Pull your knuckles around towards the front, elbows go towards one another, and then circle your left shoulder. Keeping fingers interlaced, reach both arms back, open up the chest, roll the shoulders back as much as you can, and then fold whatever amount you're able. Let's release, come up, and take a few big shoulder circles up and back and down. Good. So let's cross the right ankle above the left knee, sit nice and tall, and then lean forward. And this can be just the idea of leaning forward. If that's where you meet your edge, no problem, stay there. Could be coming further down, work with your body. Hands or elbows could be on your top leg. One more breath here. And then release. Sit tall, extend your leg forward, flex and point your foot. Circle your ankle, a couple times one way, a couple times the other way. And then release and switch. Left ankle crosses above the right knee. Lengthen your back and then fold. Whatever amount. Try not to round the lower back. If the lower back is rounded, see if you can find where it's flat, lengthen it, and then either stay there or keeping a flat back, can you go a little bit further forward? Release. Sit tall, extend your leg forward, flex and point. Circle your ankle, big circles. One way and then the other. And then release. All right, let's stand up and come behind the chair. I'm just going to move it so you can see more easily. With fingers resting gently on the back of the chair, we're going to have feet hip width apart and slowly lift the heels and slowly lower. See if you can be nice and slow and controlled. If you don't need your hands, you can lift them off or just barely touch like hot potato. Now if you want a little bit more of a challenge, do this one leg at a time. So you can flex one foot so it's not touching the floor as you lift on one toe and then come down and then go to the other. You could try that without the use of your hands if you want a big challenge. See how slow and controlled you can be. Let's do one more on each side or two more if you're doing on both legs. Good. Okay, let's try a quad stretch. And it could be a balance or not. So if you're able, right hand reaches back for right foot. If this is not good for your knee, if this is not possible for you, you could do a different balance instead. You could do tree, bring your foot to the inner leg. Now if you're able to do this without the use of your chair, go ahead and take your arm off. You could even bring both hands to your foot. The chair's there if you need it. Open up through the front of the hip as much as you can, dropping the tailbone, lifting through the belly. You might imagine you have a monkey tail and you're pulling it up between your legs in the front. And then release. Shake that out, maybe pedal out the feet a little bit. Same thing other side. So whatever you did on the first side, if you can, reach for your left foot with your left hand, do so. If you took tree or a different balance instead, that's great. Arm could be out to steady you on the chair or at your foot as well. Tailbone dropping, belly lifting, and standing as tall as you can. And then release, shake that out. A little pedaling out. Okay, let's try a downward facing dog using the chair. So hands could be on the top of the chair or even the seat of the chair. Top of the chair is going to be less intense, seat of the chair will be more intense. So we want to pull the hips back and lengthen out your back. Try and find a straight, long line from your hands to your hips. Flexing the sit bones up towards the ceiling to lengthen the hamstrings even more. One more breath here. Release. Come up. And to finish, we're actually going to come onto our backs and bring our lower legs to the chair. So you can scoot your butt close to the bottom of the chair, roll onto your back, and bring your lower legs to the chair so that your back is flat, the legs are supported. You can interlace your fingers behind your head, lift your chin to your chest to lengthen out the back of the neck. And And then release your head back down with a little more length to it. Shrug your shoulders down away from your ears. Have the palms facing up. And maybe a couple of extra deep exhales, even a sigh out. Just letting your body release back. And then let your breath return to natural without any effort or control. Let the weight of your body rest into the support underneath you. A few moments of not doing anything, just simply being. And slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Move your wrists and ankles. And then take a big stretch out long through your arms. Bring your knees in. And roll to one side and just pause there for a moment. You can use your hands to help you up to sitting, either on the floor or on the chair again. And bring hands together at the heart. Namaste. Thank you. Thanks for joining me for chair yoga.